Welcome back to Tech, Tesla, and Trends. Tonight, I am considering Elon's first part in his 10-dimensional chess game with the world, and that is make humanity multiplanetary, his long-term horizon and vision. This is ultimately the reason he does everything he does. And this will help some of those that are struggling to understand why Twitter got purchased if they'll listen all the way to the end. Because Twitter is the last item in line so far. Trust me, there'll be more. In this case, we start with PayPal. And one of the very first things that's necessary for all of the things that Elon has accomplished in the last 20 plus years is the speed of money. The velocity at which money is exchanged increased tremendously as a result of PayPal. It changed because the internet became an exchange medium of commerce for the little people, which banks already had the ability to wire money. In this case, it granted the individual, the little guy, you and me, the ability to transfer money to another individual, another little guy, in that fashion. This is critical and important to the underlying success of so many other aspects of what Elon has created. Space has to be affordable is the next step. Well, in that regard, SpaceX was founded, and it came about to, initially just to put a little green something or other on Mars, and it grew into something so much more. To make space affordable, you have Falcon 1 through 9, or Falcon 1, 9, and then Heavy. And if you look at those, each step along the way brings the cost of a payload into space down by factors that are unbelievable and unthinkable to previous Boeing and Lockheed rockets. The next item on that list for Elon's success is transport must be electric. Well, this is where Tesla came in, and the sexy cars. We look at this, you can see that Master Plan 1, 2, and soon to be 3 are all part of bringing about electric cars for Mars. I've said it before, and I really believe that even though it rhymes and sounds cool, electric cars on Mars is his goal. Cybertruck being water, able to float, should be a clue. And it's not too much further from water to vacuum. The next step on that list for Elon is energy must be sustainable. Well, that leads us into Tesla Energy through Solar City with his cousins, and what was necessary to start that whole process and to make energy sustainable long term. You need batteries. You need the ability to collect and to distribute and to manage all of the back and forth of microgrids and even larger scale grids through VPPs or virtual power plants. The next item on that list is one that people don't necessarily think of, but Elon's an investor in it, and that is food security matters. Through Kendall, Musk, and Square Roots, and all the rest of that world, the ability to grow food inside a container, which, if you think about it, what is a spacecraft? Oh, that's right, it's a container. And that is exactly what Kendall Musk is developing, the ability to grow food for long-term transport. When you get to Mars, what are you going to eat? This matters being able to grow food in those containers and get reliable, consistent results matters tremendously to the overall goal of making humanity multiplanetary. The next item on that list of Elon's success: AI needs to be transparent and friendly. Well, in order to achieve that, he founded or was part of the founding of OpenAI. And as you look at OpenAI and where that leads and what it creates and how that has grown over the years, there's a bit of that that's still there. I think, not sure on the full details of where that's going in the future, but the interaction with Neuralink being the next item, I suspect that there's a lot more clarity occurring in the Neuralink process than there was in the OpenAI. So with Neuralink, the whole goal is that humans must be able to interact well with AI. For AI to be friendly, it must be able to understand and we must be able to relate. So that's where Neuralink comes into this whole vision, the long-term goals. The next item on Elon's list is transport must be autonomous. This is where FSD has been developed and built so that we can create robotaxis for the future transport needs of humanity. But it's also for navigating on Mars and any other hard surface planet, and potentially any other asteroid or other space navigation, because if you can see it, view it, find it, however it is identified, and you can navigate around it, and you have the ability to drive anywhere in the world, you can also navigate anywhere on another world. Again, short-term thinking will never get you to understanding Elon. This matters. FSD is so much more than just robotaxis. The next item on Elon's list is transport must be rapid. Well, and it must not suck the living soul out of you, which is where Boring Company comes in, and digging of tunnels, and Hyperloop. All of this is interconnected. On Mars, that vacuum that is not quite full vacuum or anything like that by any stretch of the word, but it is sufficiently low that a Hyperloop is fully plausible and a rational idea. You needed a way to drill tunnels. Well, that's where Boring Company comes in, and it's a long-term goal. Next on that list, humanity must have access to the internet. This is where SpaceX and Starlink come in. And as you look at it, Starlink isn't just for Earth. If you drop a Starlink constellation along the orbital path that starships are going to travel to and from Mars, do you enable communication and the active flow? Yes. And it is also for the internet around Mars. I would be extremely shocked if the first starship that heads to Mars doesn't contain Starlinks to go into orbit around Mars to improve the connectivity and communication. Next on that list is Mars must be free. Well, if you've used Starlink, you know that that's in the terms of use. And again, Starlink will be in orbit, so if you're going to use it, you're agreeing to that particular detail. Humanity must leave orbit, and that's Starship in a nutshell. That's the whole reason Starship's being developed, to enable mankind to escape the Earth and to explore Mars in particular, but also the moon and every other portion and corner of the solar system that we're able to reach. Some of it will be manned, and other parts of it will be automated through bots and other means. Next on that list, and this is important, labor must expand. This is where Tesla Bot comes in. Tesla Bot enables that question of Elon's. Is there a limit to the size of an economy? Effectively, for what we as individuals can imagine today, the answer to that is no. Most of us are incapable of actually envisioning the true limits of what could be created from an economy that is based off of all the resources in the solar system. And the final item on this list is humanity must be free to speak, to exchange ideas. This is where Twitter comes in and the Everything app. It is very critical in Elon's mind that we as individuals must learn to speak and to communicate and to exchange ideas in a friendlier fashion. We don't have to agree. We will never completely agree with each other. But we do need to learn how to communicate with each other in an effective and non-hostile format. And this is the intent that Elon has. And the primary reason I believe he bought Twitter, because the conversation, the tone of the conversation had turned so violent and negative that we're banning people from even speaking because we disagree. Well, if we disagree, that's fine. We don't have to listen to the person. And that is the opportunity. Elon Musk's 10-dimensional thinking is truly the path forward. The fruit is on the tree. We can see the results that it has delivered. And as we watch over the next decade or more, I guarantee there will be even more achievements on that list. So many people are crying and complaining at a stock dip of Twitter today. But the reality of what's coming tomorrow as a result of what one man's vision has brought to pass is impressive and worthy of being patient. Hang in. The world is going to be interesting. The ride there, absolutely volatile and entertaining. Just wait for Elon's next tweet. It'll be funny. Or it'll be a meme. And it might even teach you something about reality. Pay attention. The man isn't stupid. And there's something more there for each and every one of us if we're willing to take the time to recognize the fruit. For now, have a great night. We'll talk to you later.